Like I told her, let's flip a coin and whoever loses has to eat it, and then I lost. And I ate a piece, and then she was a champion. She said, okay, you did it, I'll do it as well. And then we shared it.
And we are rolling, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Episode 4.
Here we go. Welcome to episode 4 of the Husky Experience. We've got a nice little... What?
I don't know.
2, 3.
Repeat. So,
Should we no, we're not cutting it. We are not.
I looked at Jam, and then he's so serious. I don't know.
And we are rolling.
All right, we're not cutting that. All right, yeah, we got some good stuff today. We're going to go around the room. So, yeah, I'm Patrick.
I'm Ruben.
Joey.
Jack.
Evan.
Sam.
So we're going to start off today.
Yeah, we got a quick word from our sponsors that we're going to go with. It's from Talking Rain Drink Company. They hit us up with some beverages for the podcast. So we just want to say thanks to Talking Rain, and also be sure to drink Talking Rain and sparkling ice. They're really good drinks. They also have a tasty energy drink that Pat got into today.
It's good.
Yeah. So thank you to our sponsors, Talking Rain Beverage Company.
It's food.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to We're gonna start off today with some what I love, conspiracy. Some conspiracy theories. We're gonna talk about our favorite or most likely to be true conspiracy theories.
And
so,
this is a question from a fan here.
This is a question from my boy. This is a fake name, or is it Victor from home. We love conspiracy theories back in Rhode Island, kind of our thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is what Rhode Island is known for. That's what people talk about.
That's what I've
New York, the Big Apple, Rhode Island, the moon landing. Didn't happen.
Exactly. So yeah, we're gonna go around
that did sound really good.
It did. All right, so Ruben, you want to start us off?
Well, I think that the flat Earth conspiracy is just so outdated at this point. If I'm being real, like everyone thinks that the Earth is flat, right? Or round or flat or whatever. These people are living in the 19th century. The Earth is a cube, right? Have you ever been to Portugal? That's where the main edge happens, right? Once you go east of Portugal, it's just a 90-degree angle from there. You've never been there, so you can't prove it wrong. Shit. That's what I'm saying. Everyone here is living in, industrial times.
When you say the main edge in a cube,
The 90-degree one.
There's many.
All right, so you're how old are you? Henry the Fourth? I don't know. Man's centuries behind on his conspiracy theories. Doesn't understand geometry.
Is it like in Minecraft when you keep going, and then you're walking but you're not moving?
Exactly, it's exactly like that. See, I've played Minecraft. I know what shape the Earth is.
All right, let's get if we got any more legitimate theories that I think Evan had something that he was thinking about.
No, you go first.
I don't have one. It's you.
Sure. Actual conspiracy theory. JFK. Two shooters.
2 shooters or 2 shots? Oh,
Two
yeah,
shooters.
Two shooters. Yeah,
Two
stupid.
shooters. If you analyze the Zapruder film, if you analyze the Zapruder film, you can see, and looking at the way that Kennedy moves when being shot, you can tell, knowing basic physics, that he moves 2 different ways. You can see him moving back initially, and then you see him lurch forward. Oh, no. You see him lurch forward initially, and then you see him fall back when he has the final shot through the head.
I got a question. What's the significance? Let's say, okay, there's 2 shooters. Is it that somebody got away with assassinating the president and without being penalized?
Because the official narrative is basically Lee Harvey Oswald was a lone madman gunman, which is an easy, brush it aside. He's just a crazy guy that shot him. But if it was 2 shooters, it could signify an assassination attempt by
The CIA?
possibly. I was
Or-
going to say the Soviet Union, but yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
do not
so-
associate with these conversations. Just want to clear this out. But act out, like you said, lurch forward and then back.
So,
do it. Let I shot you. Do
So let's see if I can reconstruct it here. Can we get some of these bottles to recreate the streets?
Oh, some of our delicious Talking Rain Beverage Company.
Thank you for our
bottles.
sponsor for making
So-
this video
Great
possible.
podcast.
Allowing
Um,
us to recreate John F. Kennedy's assassination.
So here's let's imagine
This is John F. Kennedy because this is a blood.
We'll have that here then.
And then wait,
Jesus.
when he gets shot. yeah, just
No. Jesus. Okay.
He's got it now.
okay.
I gotta put it back. I'm not trying to get it all over my phone,
Okay.
So this is the car. This is the street. It's like a boulevard that turned right here. This is a building. So the car is going farther down that street. The official narrative is there was a building here. I think it was I want to say it was some sort of assembling factory, but I'm not 100% certain. But anyway, there was a maybe 10-story building right here. Lee Harvey Oswald was said to be right towards the top of it. So he's shooting from this way. And Kennedy's right here. So you'll see in the Zapruder film the initial shots have him lurching forward because he's hit in the chest. Also, the guy in front of him is hit. And then there's another guy on the side of the road. I forgot who he was, but there's another guy on the side of the road who's also hit. But if you watch the Zapruder film at the end, you can see him get hit in the head and he goes backwards. So the conspiracy is that there was someone on a grassy knoll, which is right here.
Oh, yeah, on this Talking Rain.
You may have seen photos of it. Just like a lawn, and there's a grassy knoll. That's said to be where the second shooter was. Now, we don't know who the second shooter was. There's conspiracies. There's the Umbrella Man conspiracy. This guy with an umbrella who looks suspicious. There's the babushka lady.
Why does he
I've
look
heard of
suspicious?
the
Because he has an
yeah.
umbrella.
Because
Maybe the umbrella was the
official
what's
narrative.
the movie called?
Kingsman.
Kingsman.
Well, the official narrative is that the guy dressed in, it was like a top hat, a black suit, and an umbrella. He dressed like that in protest of Kennedy's father, who was a sympathizer with Neville Chamberlain, who made a plea deal with Hitler. So that's the official narrative. However, there's theories that the umbrella is like a sort of weapon.
And that's why you're saying CIA, because they can make this type of weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Connecting-
it could be.
Connecting all the dots.
And also, people think it was the CIA who assassinated him because he was against going to Vietnam, I'm pretty sure. right?
Um,
And then
yeah,
they
well,
wanted
U.S.
to go.
involvement in Vietnam, yeah, was 65.
Yeah, and because he wanted to take us out of Vietnam, and CIA was like, nah, bro, we're going. We're
I got a
staying there.
question.
Yes,
So-
sir.
Yeah.
Did he have
Nah, bro.
multiple bullet wounds?
Yeah.
He had 2.
Well, he was hit in the back multiple times. And then he was hit in the head.
So,
Also, I'm pretty sure the autopsy shows that they came in at different angles as well, and from different sides.
So how do they try to cover that up?
I don't know, man. People just aren't. They're just not as woke as us.
Because if the government has a sort of narrative, then to disagree with that narrative is to be labeled as crazy, which
Yes.
is to be marginalized and, silenced, if you will.
What do you mean silenced?
Like, if you look at Alex Jones, for example.
oh, here we
I don't
go.
know who that is.
Silence.
But I think I know.
Not
what you mean
saying
by
he's
silenced.
right, which he isn't on
He's not
everything.
right about them putting chemicals in the water.
They
Turn
turn the
Frickin'
frogs
frog.
gay.
So my roommate is from Austin, Texas, which is where InfoWars was
okay.
recorded and filmed and all of that stuff. And people down in Austin love Alex Jones. Oh my God, he's an icon. He's on par with Dolly Parton as far as people that they're like, this is a true Austinian. It's-
Wait, so go on with what you were saying. Wait, he was going somewhere.
I was just saying how sort of conspiracy theories are marginalized and sidelined.
Yeah.
because they're against the sort of official narrative, if you will.
Yeah.
Therefore, in order, like, how would you say it? Yeah, they're sidelined, marginalized, because... fuck, what am I trying to say?
the government-
of
I'm so tired.
assassinations.
Shit.
Let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh my.
Oof. That is a loaded potato, if I say so myself. I think people on both sides of the political spectrum agree that it's sketchy. Like, everyone thinks that it's sketchy, but they all think it's sketchy for their own reasons. Have you noticed that? Like, everyone thinks that either he had information about Hillary Clinton or that he had information about Donald Trump. Everyone just thinks that this man had some information.
Also, wasn't he a pedophile?
Yeah.
He was.
That-
Alright,
that's the
here's
whole thing.
So he had an island in international waters, I'm pretty sure. It's like Pedophile Island is kind of what it's been dubbed. And-
Pedophile.
Yeah.
That's just disgusting.
Yeah. So he had a lot of famous people there, such as Bill Clinton. Trump never went there, according to the flight logs, but Bill Clinton did. The Prime Minister of, like, Israel, and then some...
Netanyahu?
I don't fucking know. So
If
some
it was the
prince
same
might have
time.
gone there, but, like, Epstein had, like, flight logs and everything, and he had VHS tapes with, like, people's names and female names, presumably young females. So he had, like, videotapes of all this stuff, so it's presumed that it was kind of like blackmail. So, yeah. And he was gonna go to trial, and it was assumed he would try to get, like, a plea deal by kind of ratting people out, like 6ix9ine has been doing, as we know.
Oh, yeah.
Did he
Yeah.
get released or not yet?
Who?
6ix9ine. Because this morning I was reading about how there is not all the New York clubs say they're not gonna let him in and all that stuff.
I have no clue.
Anyway, let's continue with your story.
Okay.
If 6ix9ine doesn't get, like...
I digress.
I
If he
digress.
still
I
goes
was
to
just
jail
gonna say
after
that
what
she's
he's
doing
doing,
my
he's
thing.
got to get out of jail free card after all of that. Honestly, I think it keeps working like that, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like if as long as you rat out enough people, then you don't go to jail, right? But if you
Yeah.
do even more than that, then you get some sort of, like, protection against getting arrested in the future.
So you can just go be more of a pedophile. For a couple
Exactly.
years. No, that's not how it
That's a
goes.
good idea.
So yeah, that's kind of the Epstein conspiracy. I think it's viable.
Wait, but he killed himself.
So
Killed
That's
himself.
something. The narrative is that he
Wink,
killed
the
himself.
narrative is that he killed himself, and he did it by. So they had a bunk bed. His room had a bunk bed. So say this is like the top of the bunk bed.
That's
He-
sketchy with
Or
himself.
so he had toilet paper around his neck, and he literally just kneeled on it and leaned forward. That was like the video, or that was the picture that
So
they
to-
drew. of
Toilet
it.
paper?
Toilet paper, yes.
Well, is it like
absolutely.
Like Charmin Ultra
10 ply or
Yeah.
something?
Not
50
probably
ply?
I
Probably
don't
not.
have
It's probably
Charmin
not
stuff.
that good. It's probably like one
They don't
ply.
have 2 ply.
It's like half ply.
Regardless, it's probably soft enough to not be able to kill oneself.
yeah.
Also,
yeah,
I think there were supposed to be guards that were walking around because he was supposed to be on suicide watch, and they just
So they took him.
missed their
They,
route
no,
or
no,
something
they,
like that.
they took him off suicide watch the week before, or a few days before. Nonetheless, there were supposed to be people kind of cycling in
Yeah.
and watching, but
They didn't
those
go.
those guards had been working overtime, and their pay had been coming through some of Epstein's people. Like they were paying them the overtime. So if you ask me, money does wonderful things, and it's very easy to be like, yo, give you a couple grand to just go take a 15-minute break. Something like that. You know what I mean?
No.
So I think it makes sense, and there's a lot of powerful people who definitely would not want him to go to trial, and now it's
Wait.
just been like completely thrown out the window.
Why would he pay them to not walk around?
So that he can.
No, someone else.
Oh,
not him.
gotcha.
Someone
I was
else.
gonna say, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Had anybody heard about Jeffrey Epstein before he killed himself?
No, and it's
Yeah.
actually
Mostly just the
interesting
trial
how he got his money. So he became a hedge fund manager, but like only for billionaires. He was a completely unproven guy.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, billionaires were just trusting him with their money.
The blackmail.
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 Yeah.
Exactly. He's got this island now. He gets the money.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the most recent conspiracy theory, and I think it's probably one of the most valuable.
That's an interesting business model for him to have, which is you've already got an island.
He definitely went to like the Foster
Right.
School of Business. Or something.
You use
He
that
was-
island.
He was boundless.
Boundless boy gets an island to collect blackmail on billionaires, get money from those billionaires with the blackmail, so you can have an island to blackmail them with. That's a business model
it's like a
I've ever
cycle.
heard. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you say, sex is good for business.
That's exactly what.
Is that what I said? Did I say that? Oh my god.
It's on the wall at center table. Or it was. Sex is good
Yeah,
for
no,
business,
now it just
Ruben.
says sex is goo.
Okay, no, literally, I went
you
to
probably
center
didn't say
table the other day. I never said that in my life, and I saw that on the wall, and I erased the Ruben part because I thought it was just someone like messing around with me, and then it sounds like it's back.
Yeah.
That
we
was
love-
what the Foster School put on Instagram though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put
posted
sex is
this
good for
shit.
business.
Yeah. That was the caption. to it.
I have a question now,
Oh, yeah.
like a genuine question. So if we buy an island on international water, no, let me finish.
This is like Luke's Oregon thing.
Can we make our own country?
Yeah. I think so.
I don't know.
Well,
I think
all
there's
land
rules to
is owned by some.
But who
country
makes the
somewhere.
rules?
What if like I buy a small
country?
piece of land
Probably,
from that
probably
country
the
for myself?
probably the UN.
Just say fuck the
It
UN.
depends.
We're making our own country.
Like maybe
What are they gonna do? Invade you?
Yes.
Which countries has so many like islands, like Indonesia or something, right? I just buy one of their islands, like the smallest one. It can be as big as this room. I don't care. And then we can turn it into my own country.
There's someone in I think like Colorado or Utah who like technically their property is like their own country.
They did that in Family Guy.
Well, there was this guy in San Francisco actually who declared that he was like I don't know if it was San Francisco or a different city where he declared himself like the emperor of that city, and he coined his own currency, and he actually got a lot of support from people within this like American city. I think it was in like the 1800s, and like people were using his currency as completely like legitimate money, and I think they were just doing it to appease him because they were like, oh, that's so cute. Yeah, we'll use your like Donnie dollars or whatever his name was. And like he died a wealthy man and everyone like respected him. The emperor of like Baltimore or whatever.
Wow, I feel like that's not true.
I watched one of those like YouTube videos where the guy like has
so
a
it has to be
slideshow
true.
over
Oh,
it, so
okay,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of credible.
Yeah. All right,
Salmonella Academy.
so we're gonna move on here. So shout out to the homies back home, the members of Ankle Deep, the legendary Instagram meme chat.
What is that?
It
What does that
just-
mean?
it just says
Instagram
What does ankle
chat.
deep mean?
It's like his
Ankle Deep. So
like ankle.
So the
Deep.
person who asked us to talk about conspiracy theories is a member of Ankle Deep. He's a founder. He was there when the name was created. Fun fact: it used to be called Balls Deep. Not many members of the chat know that. There's about 20 of us now, and we were sitting at Tig Boney's, Big Tony's if you're not from around there. It's a pizza place. We're sitting there eating a couple slices. I got a slice of barbecue. They got a slice of pasta. You know, so me, my boy Victor, and well, that's his fake name, and then another friend of ours, Caitlin. That's actually a fake name. And we were sitting there, and I was like, guys, wait. What if you just stuck your foot in there? What if you just...
Like in the water, you mean, right?
No.
I know the idea.
And
Very helpful.
and then I was like, you wouldn't be going balls deep.
I bet you're like the first person thinking that. Not.
See, when I heard the word
That's
ankle deep, my first reaction was the other direction. See, I was thinking it was everything except for the foot.
I
and then I was thinking maybe it
Oh.
is a swimming reference.
But nonetheless, that's the origin of the group chat, and they've listened to every podcast. And shout out to my boy Thomas Jefferson. That's his actual name.
Or is it?
Or is it? He's a longtime listener. So shout out to those guys. And
Yeah.
we are gonna move on from that.
You
Shout out.
framed Thomas Jefferson.
How about elbow deep?
Oh god.
shoulder deep?
Okay,
wait,
alright.
wait, wait, wait.
I feel like
Oh
we're.
my
You two should understand elbow deep.
Yeah, I do
Oh
understand.
God! All right. All right.
Damn, indeed.
Yeah,
Sounds like
okay.
we're getting into some X-rated content there.
Yeah, that's one of our like few content guidelines.
How
for the
much
show.
is there to understand?
No,
No,
Moving on.
If you want to
Moving
know
on,
more, post what do you call it? Post podcast. We have a special show on a different platform.
No.
God,
You wanna find this one on
platform?
Vimeo.
Another tube.
Oh man.
Okay, we are moving on from that, folks. So, there was a big movie
Oh.
that came out last week. It's called Joker.
Let's talk about it.
What's it about?
Let's talk.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's about the wonderful villain Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix, who I think did a phenomenal job. And Evan here as our movie buff. We are not so in episode 1. If you guys watched that, Joey here suckered us into summarizing Pulp Fiction for 20 minutes. We are not going to summarize this movie. We're going to just jump into analysis. Big spoiler alert to everyone. We're going to make sure we put that in the
Skip
thumbnail or
to
something.
this
No.
this time to not have the Joker movie ruined on you.
We're not actually going to put that there.
Luke can put it.
No, we're not going to do that.
Why?
We're going to make you look stupid.
Oh. You should put balls here.
Yeah. So yeah, big spoiler alerts. We're going to be kind of analyzing the movie and touching on some major plot points, I'm sure. So Evan, as the big movie buff, is gonna take it away here.
Oof. Well, this film has been surrounded by controversy, theories, whole bunch of stuff. Where should I even start?
Tell me more about it, Evan.
Well, let me give a couple sentence summary.
Oh boy.
Or just a little
Yeah.
outline.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the main character is a guy named Arthur Fleck, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and basically he's sort of a mentally ill, low income, loner type guy who lives with his mom, and the movie kind of outlines and details his sort of mental and degradation and basically him becoming more and more violent and lashing out on his sort of anger and frustration with his situation. It's yeah. I don't know which. Should I start with the theory stuff?
I'll just kick us off with my theory.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can argue about it and build off of that.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, I was blown away. Me and Sam watched it together in the theater, and we walked out, and we were just both speechless. We didn't know what to say. It was a great movie. So my theory here is I've seen it online, and it makes a lot of sense to me, is that the entire movie was just in Arthur Fleck's head, or Joker's head. And Arthur Fleck, Joker, is not actually the Joker. So at the end of the movie, once again, spoilers if you didn't click off. At the end of the movie, you see him in some type of mental asylum, presumably after he was arrested. And he was getting interviewed by this lady, and then he started laughing, as he did a lot throughout the movie. And she's like, "What's so funny?" He's like, "You wouldn't get it." So at that point, it's kind of like, all right, that's when I kind of thought this might have all been in his head. So basically, that means that Joker was inspired by the insanity of Arthur Fleck. But Arthur Fleck was not the Joker.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't make sense, I probably left out some major points of that. But
I'm less familiar with the he's not the real Joker one, and more familiar with the did what happened and what didn't happen.
Yeah.
Theory.
Yeah.
So regarding the what happened and what didn't happen theory, throughout the film, Arthur Fleck, aka who we typically would consider Joker, yes.
We'll just call him Joker.
Yeah, we'll call him Joker. Basically, he has various sequences. There's various sequences in the film where he imagines a situation that doesn't end up being real. For example, by the way, major spoilers.
Skipping.
There's a sequence where he's watching this late night show with this host played by Robert De Niro, where he basically imagines himself in the audience, and that he has a sort of conversation in front of everyone with Robert De Niro's character, and that he ends up coming down onto the stage and he talks with Robert De Niro, and Robert De Niro telling him, "Oh, I wish you were my son. Oh, you're such a great guy." So that sequence is not real.
Positive experience.
Positive experience. Yes, that's a key tenet of this theory that he sort of imagines himself in better situations. That one is one evidence of
Also,
that.
what do you call it? Like the girl next to his neighbor.
Yeah, I
And
was
that one's
gonna-
even like really long, much longer. And
Yeah.
like it,
Yeah.
That one
went
had me
that
confused.
went on for such a long time during the
Yeah.
Yeah.
movie.
Basically, he meets this girl in this elevator, and she's like, "Oh, what was she even talking about? Like, the
building,
elevator
I think.
sucks or something.
Or something
Yeah.
about her kid, something about her kid, and then she like went out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So-
Oh yeah, this building sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's considered to be real. However, in the movie portrays that he has a longer relationship where she comes out to watch a stand-up comedy. They go out to dinner. He's with him and his mom in the hospital, which we end up finding out that he knocks on her door one night and they just start like making out, and it's considered
I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, wait a second.
a little bit of a fantasy there.
Yeah.
But we end up finding out that it wasn't real when he just like enters her apartment and just like is sitting in there, and then eventually she's just like, what are you doing? Don't you live down the hall?
The scene where he follows her to work.
Yeah.
Do you think that one was real? Because that one didn't have any like positive things going on with it.
I think it was fake because I think she responded too positively to that weird
She
stuff.
responded positively, but maybe they had an interaction there that was actually negative. But that interaction was made up. But he did follow her, and then she like scolded him later. Because I feel like maybe that might have aided in her freak out when he was sitting there. You know what I mean?
Maybe. It might be that he did stalk her for a bit, but the interaction they had after the stalking wasn't real.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, from the director or like a writer's point of view in a movie, like, how do you the craft of making your movie like interesting to watch at first, and then also have people like stoke conspiracy theories about it later on, is such a cool thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
If I was a director, I would make my movies. I would hope that there's a Reddit community of people just tearing my work apart, trying to figure out all the conspiracy theories that I completely did not intend. You know, like George R.R. Martin, right, the writer of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
One time he went onto Reddit and looked at all of the dumbass conspiracy theories about how Jon Snow is actually a White Walker and things like that. And I wish I had an art that would just have so many conspiracy theories. It's like I feel like making conspiracy theories is an art form of its own, honestly.
Yeah, I don't watch that many movies, but like one thing that I see, I'm very into like music, specifically hip hop, and like if you look into like Kendrick Lamar's communities, like every album, every single thing he puts out, there's like a million theories of like this is backwards, or like this is real, this is fake, or like you're meant to.
Absolutely.
Every single thing that he puts out, like
It's kind of like the Bible.
yeah.
How like
That's some high praise.
no, I mean like how some things are meant to be taken literally sometimes.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
things are not.
Well, you know
But that's how it's thought to be.
the Beatles had a conspiracy theory about Paul McCartney being dead, actually, and there was a massive, massive community of people who fully believed that Paul McCartney had died because, at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever, when he says
Paul.
cranberry sauce, if you slow it down and play it backwards at half speed and you're like upside down and there's a sofa in the room next to you, it sounds like he says, "I buried Paul." And this was like a massive thing and had lots of traction. The Beatles were experts at that.
Turns
all
out
right,
he
all
was
right,
actually-
we've strayed a little bit from the Joker here. We're gonna get back on track.
I'm just getting bored if I'm being honest.
all right, so we're gonna get back on track with the Joker here. Well, Sam first. Yeah, do you have any theories about the movie? What was your?
I don't really know. I do know I don't really agree with what you said about it being all in his head. Just from a standpoint of, I don't want that to be the case. Like, I want that. I don't want it to be, it would feel kind of like if you hear this and it's like, oh, and then he woke up from his dream or something like that. Like, it would just feel like, I'd feel kind of cheated from that. And obviously it's entirely possible that's the way it is, but I feel like since it's up for interpretation, I just don't want that to be the interpretation. And so I just kind of blocked that out because I don't want that whole thing to be fake. Also, I don't like the idea that if that was the case, like the actual Joker is just taking it, like the point of view or whatever of the Arthur Fleck Joker.
Yeah.
I think you said he was inspired by the anarchy and the clowns and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea that, it's just personal preference for why it's not based in anything of the movie, because the movie's super subjective in terms of how you want to take it. But yeah, I just don't like that as the way to see it. I do think there's obviously stuff that was in his head and didn't actually happen, like the girlfriend or you said something else. I can't remember it. When he was on stage and they started talking and he's like, I wish I had a kid like you. Those obviously I think were fake, but I don't think the whole movie was fake necessarily.
I've been confused for the past week about the ending scene, because he was arrested. He shouldn't be where he was at the end. He shouldn't be in a mental asylum being taken care of. Should is that where he's supposed to be?
I
or
think
he just be in jail?
because it wasn't at the time, back in the day, because it's not set now. It's the movie isn't set nowadays.
But wasn't his hands chained up?
Yeah, I think he was.
No, well.
I don't really remember, but I think
the last scene when he was in the he killed the woman he's talking to.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think he was chained up.
Where do you put criminals who are mental?
I think they used to go in one of the insane asylums, because I know the movie isn't meant to set place today.
He murdered a guy on live TV. I figured he'd be in a maximum security prison.
Yeah, but obviously he's crazy.
I don't know.
He killed multiple people. Yeah.
He killed
or several people.
Yeah.
Why didn't he kill the midget though?
Because
the midget was nice to him.
Yeah.
But that's such a long time since he killed the midget, and then when he went to
he didn't kill the midget.
when he let the midget go, why didn't the midget just call the police and they would?
Yeah, I
think he was scared
as well. And why didn't people call the police right when he was kind of going off on the TV show?
I don't think you'd call the police because someone's going off, especially if it's on the TV show. I don't think you just get a call yo, this guy's saying some
TV
bad
shows,
stuff.
They make you take away your phone. They take your phone away so you don't film it before it's released. But that was live television, so it doesn't really make a difference.
This is also set in 79 or 80.
Yeah, they didn't have that.
There's no telephones.
Joker's old. What does that make him now? In his 60s? Boomer.
They'll probably make another.
Okay, boomer.
I just lost some respect
the
for
same
Joker.
movie for the 50th time in 20 more years.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy how we still go watch the same one, although we've seen it with just multiple different actors.
Yeah, right.
But
they're all
really good.
pretty good.
There's something
Joker,
about
I thought was great.
Yeah. There's something about the character that speaks to our modern
The same thing with Spider-Man.
existential dilemma.
How many different it's all the same stuff in the end.
Because they make money.
Yeah.
The newest Spider-Man made $185 million the opening weekend. That's a lot of money.
It is kind of a good point though that it seems, especially in the superhero, that whole Marvel DC genre, where nothing new really ever catches on, and they just put a bunch of money into the same old crap because it sells. I'd like to see some fresh content.
We did
make a new superhero.
Thanos and all that.
But
I know what you mean.
But that's based in comics. I'm saying if
yeah.
somebody were to make some real original content.
It's still original. It's their interpretation of the comics. They take some things from
I know,
it,
but I'm
then it's
saying,
also
what
the
if you
director's-
just started from scratch?
Let's make a new superhero.
People just like having a baseline.
I know.
People just like having a base to go off.
I just mean eventually it has to.
Well, yeah, eventually
Yeah.
people are gonna have, and people do have different ideas. They're just not as.
I think I have a
popular
pitch
in
for a
some
superhero.
ways.
Oh God.
Brady
Please.
Man.
Brady man?
Oh,
He's excellent at braiding hair.
No, he means
No,
Tom,
Tom
Brady.
Brady.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, I think I have either one or two more things on the Joker. So there's been some drama about Rock and Roll Part 2. The song.
the song that they played?
The song
Yeah.
that they played while he was
Oh,
dancing
yeah,
on
I
the
heard
steps.
about
So
that.
that was that was it up, but that was written by
should play it.
someone.
The guy's like a pedophile, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pedophile or I don't want
something
to just
like that.
throw.
Maybe they are
first-
trying
hear
to
my take on
associate that the Joker's a kiddo.
Yeah, so Rock and Roll Part 2 by
You should
Gary
play it.
Glitter. I feel like that's not a good.
I feel
Yeah,
like
we'll
that's
get
a great
struck.
idea.
We'll get struck.
Okay, so-
Content
so-
idea
right.
immediately.
So yeah, he's
I can sing it if you want.
He's a convicted pedophile, and he will not receive any music royalties from Joker. But just the use of the song was it frustrated people. Or, I don't know what the right word is.
It was
Angered
filmed
them?
on Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Oh my god.
No, but I don't like that. I think that it's important to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, I do as well.
In reality, we don't really know who any of these people are outside of when they're not in our earphones. So I say you have to just like take the art for what it is.
It's a good, it's a catchy song.
what
It's a
Joey
good
just
song.
said.
Yeah.
You can't just
Like, you don't have to like the guy, but you can respect, like, yeah, that's really
Like
good.
Michael Jackson, like one of the best musicians of all time. You think I'm going to stop listening to some of the best music of all time because of all the shitty things that have come out about like stuff that he did? Like, no. You got to take the music for what it is, and then obviously not approve with like what he did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tom Brady cheats, but he still supports the Patriots.
All right. All right. That was not meant for this podcast. And, you know, we are constrained for time, so I can't really get into it with you right now. So low buckaroo. But Tom Brady did not cheat.
Yeah.
Spygate
That's
had
definitely-
nothing to do with Tom Brady.
That's definitely why they
Deflategate-
lost a first-round pick and why he was suspended. That's definitely why he didn't cheat.
Deflategate,
because he broke his phone.
he was generally aware.
Just, okay, we get it.
He was?
We get it. No matter what he
That's
does,
okay.
you'll be on his side. All right.
Anyway, we digress.
I'm angry now. Okay, and I think that's about it for the Joker thing, but I know we had talked about before about the use of that song in that scene just in general.
Yeah.
Being not fitting for the scene, and I know we differed on that.
It felt, I mean, other songs that they used were more like Frank Sinatra type, more like not classic, but like 40s, 50s type singing as opposed to rock and roll, and it just felt strange. And then they had a strange transition to a more like upbeat, sort of poppy song. Not
Yeah.
pop, but like Sinatra
Yeah.
type song.
Yeah, I thought it fit the scene really well, because
I agree.
I like him descending the stairs was symbolic in some way, and I don't know how, but it was.
I think
can't
the
think
scene
of
was
it.
symbolic, just if the
And
music matched the scene.
No, I feel like the music did match the scene, or maybe the way it didn't match the scene was symbolic in itself, and how maybe like he's just mentally messed up, something like that.
Maybe it's sort of an internal contradiction in a sense.
Maybe.
Like this is
It's one of
his.
ways.
It's kind of like.
Whoever lives above us right now, just take a shit.
Nice.
It's sort of an inverted hero's journey, if you will.
Yeah.
Like he's finding himself, but like what he's finding is, not really acceptable in a sort of societal context.
So, anyone else want to add anything about the Joker before we move on?
Should win an Oscar for something.
Joaquin.
Yeah.
You want to get into some fan stuff?
I think
we can
should have seen
either.
a bit more action.
Huh?
I feel like we needed a little bit more action.
I did think that as well.
Like, I felt like when I loved the movie, I was like still missing some of that like action. Maybe at least the writing scenes. Maybe if that was a bit longer. I don't know. Because
I
like
think it's
all the
just a
action
different
just
kind of
happened in
movie.
the last 3 minutes of the movie, and then the first
I just
50 was.
I don't think it's as much. I just don't think it's like an action movie.
I don't
Like-
know.
like, I
When
know
you
what
think
you mean,
about
like,
the Joker.
When you think about it, like that's kind of what you think of. I just don't think that's the direction they wanted to take it. Is an action movie. I think they
it
wanted
worked
it to be
anyway.
more
Whatever
about
they
the
did,
character.
it was good.
So we can either talk about El Camino now, or take a break, talk about fan questions. How much time have we got?
We
22
have
minutes.
2 separate things of fan questions because we also have some more questions from Bob. So I would say we should get into that. And
We can
then-
talk about El Camino super quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's
go-
just bang that out. And
We're
then
gonna bang it out. So wait, who here has seen El Camino? Is it just me and Evans?
Just you and Evan.
All right.
Just-
So
just you and Evan.
So another spoiler alert, I guess. El Camino is the El Camino is the Breaking Bad epilogue, if you will.
It's the Breaking Bad movie,
Yeah.
but anyway.
It's basically an epilogue, and it's basically it's leaving nothing up to the audience's imagination. Breaking Bad is a phenomenal TV show, best one I've ever watched, and the only question at the end of the series is what happens to Jesse. Everything else is kind of everything's kind of resolved. Other than that, so this is what that movie seeks to do.
Does it have the same actor?
It does have the same actor. It has all the
Yeah.
same actors. There's a bunch of flashbacks throughout the movie. I think it was maybe half and half. It runs over a little over 2 hours. I think it was like half flashbacks, half like present time with Jesse.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good movie, but it felt maybe like a cash grab, and it didn't have much of a place in the whole Breaking Bad universe. It was still a great movie. I thought it was great. It was just a lot of fan service, and like all the flashbacks were like, yes, we're seeing our favorite characters again.
Yeah, I mean 100% it was fan service and to get more money.
Yeah.
But I thought it was, for what it was, like just an epilogue on Jesse's story, and really just Jesse's story.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice little epilogue. It felt kind of like a final episode of Breaking Bad more than a movie.
Yeah, it definitely felt more like an episode than a movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, you won't understand the movie unless you've seen Breaking Bad. So I mean, I guess there's that with it as well. It's like,
I mean, Breaking Bad episodes on their own were like an hour or something long, right? So a movie is what, maybe twice that?
Yeah.
It could just be an extra long episode at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like 40 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, great movie. Let's see, what else is it? My favorite scene in like maybe the whole series was just the ending scene of that movie. Seeing him finally free, just like driving to where he's gonna live now in Alaska. That scene was so cool. It was just like silent and just him.
Yeah,
It
for
was
sure.
beautiful.
He has sort of control over his destiny, if you will.
Exactly. Look at that movie analysis.
Did you say that was your favorite shot in the whole series? Or just the movie?
Maybe the whole series. That was beautiful.
Disagree there from that.
I did like that sequence very much.
I mean, then of course you have the ending scene of the final. You have the ending scene of the series as well, which is with Walt
walking through the meth lab
walking
after
through after he shot you guys. So we are gonna. That's about all we got from El Camino. Great movie, a lot of fan service, but
definitely binge Breaking Bad and then watch the movie.
yes, definitely watch Breaking Bad first. So we're gonna get into some fan questions.
Okay, here we go. So, before I start with the fan questions, want to say, if you have any fan questions, if you need any advice, if you want to know about any of the members of the podcast or the podcast itself, go ahead and email us at thehuskyexperience@gmail.com.
Right here.
Yeah, I doubt he has the editing for that, but it will be in the description of this video, or
Just get a piece of paper.
if you're viewing this on YouTube. So, our first group of questions here is from apparently our number one fan. We're gonna be calling her Amy.
And if you remember from the last episode, we did shout her out because we heard she was our best, our number one fan. We didn't know we had female fans. We thought we were alienating the female audience, but I guess we're not. So.
Yeah. So show some love in the comments.
Obviously, the
for
addition
Amy.
of females in the last podcast helped show that we are not actually alienating anyone, and we are inclusive of all genders and sexualities and races
Okay.
and animals.
Great. So
What?
here's the message here from our biggest fan, Amy. Hello, it's your biggest fan. Anyway, I went on a binge last night and I loved it all. Keep up the great content. Huskies in the Wild is so nice to watch. Great that we heard that.
So nice to watch.
I have some questions for you if you would please answer them. Of course we will. Favorite songs and why? So I'm going to take this as favorite songs of all time. Okay?
Yeah, like that.
And right now.
Well,
What favorite song of all time and favorite song right now? Because you can change, you know?
That's true. Do we have time for that? Though?
Quickly,
She has
just-
a lot of questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
She does have a lot of questions. Does anybody have some things that come to their mind when you hear
our-
favorite song?
I told Joey earlier today, like a couple hours ago, "Saturday" by Earth Gang is just my go-to song for the past year. It's just, or maybe not the past year, but for a while now. It's just such a good song, and I feel like it has a lot of variety. Great beat, great verses, all around great song. Right now, my favorite song is probably either 151 Rum by JID.
Let's fucking go, JID.
Or Stranger Things is a great song. That's by Joyner Lucas and Chris Brown. Also, both those songs have great variety. I'm all about that. So.
Mm-hmm. My all-time favorite song is Althea by the Grateful Dead. I mean, call me a hippie fucker, but that's just how it is. John Mayer. Do you know what John Mayer has been doing recently?
No.
He's been touring with the Grateful Dead as part of Dead & Company. Jerry Garcia, right? He was their lead guitar player, and he died a long time ago, a lot of heroin and stuff. And just recently, John Mayer has taken up the part as their replacement, Jerry Garcia. And this one song, Althea, he was listening to Pandora Shuffle back when that was a thing. And he listened to Althea, which came up, and he was like, I want to play with these guys. And so John Mayer stopped his solo career, started playing with the Grateful Dead because of this one song. So that's my all-time favorite. It's an incredible song.
All right. My favorite songs, I'm going to give you two, both by Kendrick Lamar, for two different things. Number one, Mad City. Amazing song. It's got the beat switch in it, and so intense, so in the moment. I love that. And some breathtaking verse at the end there. And number two, How Much a Dollar Cost by Kendrick Lamar off of my favorite album ever, To Pimp a Butterfly. Amazing song, such good storytelling, and a big twist at the end. Definitely look out for that and read the lyrics, please. Pay attention there.
Right now, probably maybe Middle Child, J. Cole.
Of course.
I don't know. I love it.
It's good. It's good.
It keeps going. It doesn't stop. Keeps
Yeah.
going. You know, it's non-stop. It's amazing. All time, I can't tell you, honestly. I don't know. I don't have that like you guys. Like that one song that I listen to and I just like, my brain orgasms, you know? No, I don't know.
Fair play.
I don't know.
Evan?
Right now, Team Brockhampton.
Let's fucking go on the Brockhampton.
Shout out to I love those end tracks on those Saturation albums, all of them. I hold on, I got it.
Let's see.
Waste
Yes.
is on Saturation 1, and Summer's on Saturation 2, and Team's on Saturation 3. But
Shout out to me for showing you that.
shout out to Joey. He listens to Brockhampton.
In the
And
shower.
in the shower. Yeah, that's where I heard it.
I also want to interfere here.
She was in the shower.
I heard from like a source that Joey eats pickles in the bathroom, right?
No, not in the
Not in the bathroom.
I heard he
Oh,
eats hot
Jesus.
Cheetos and then he eats pickles. Is that true?
No, I just
Not
like
in the
to
bathroom.
eat. I like to eat pickles in general, like because it's like 0 to 5 calories per pickle, and they're so tasty and like crunchy. So that's why I like to eat pickles. Okay.
You gotta justify it.
I don't really have one right now, but probably of all time, it's Viva La Vida by Coldplay. Just 'cause it's one of the earlier songs I can remember like listening to and like thinking like just listening to, and like I remember the first concert I went to was a Coldplay concert with my mom, and so I just thought it's a good song.
Sweet.
I actually forgot one song that I've listened to since like 4th grade, Stereo Hearts by Gym Class Heroes featuring Adam
I
Levine.
still listen to it every day.
Yep. I remember finding that song before it became a hit,
Ooh.
and like I loved it so much, and then everyone else got on the train, and I was like, yeah.
And then
I knew this
so now you
before.
go to the video and write, I've been here since 2K views.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Next question, and again, I'm gonna try and go a bit more rapid fire
Yeah.
here. Although one of these is clearly not going to be rapid fire. But just if you have a view on this, shoot your shot. Views on Greek life. We know our boy Ruben. I feel like you have a good answer for this because
yeah.
you've had
You
some
know,
change in ideology.
I have. I think I'm a changed man. At the beginning of college when I got here, I used to say, fuck all of Greek life. All of those guys are bad. I was pretty loud about it too. It mostly for the meme. I realize now that it's not all bad. That I definitely was too quick to talk shit about them. There's obviously some like rapey pieces of shit there. Like I'm not going to say that they don't exist, but the vast majority of them are good people and they do a good job keeping themselves in check. So I think I take it back. Props to you, Greek life.
Yeah.
Most
and
of you.
yeah, I guess my view on it, if it's worth anything, is that like
It's not.
I know, but I don't know. Not for me. I don't like being surrounded by that many dudes all at once. Give me my.
Yeah, that's why you.
Who would
That's why you have a podcast.
around it?
Yeah, I mean that
That's
many
why-
dudes. Like I like being able to go to bed in a room with just a couple guys max. I don't want to constantly be surrounded by.
Yeah, I feel like with Greek life, if I didn't have all the friends that I have now, then I guess it'd be a good option. But I feel
Humble
I feel like you should do it to like get a good friend group. But
Yeah. 3. Trolley problem. Thoughts. This is a huge issue that I feel like we could take an entire podcast
I have
on.
no
For those of you who
clues.
don't know what it is, I will
Wait, what
explain
is
it.
it?
Trolley problem.
I guess it's a
Oh.
Here's the dilemma. It's a classic ethical dilemma. There is a track
I thought there was
going
like a
forward.
problem with like the trolley.
No. Lined up
Yeah.
on one track is one person and it's set to, is multiple people and it's set to go hit this group of people here. Let's say 5 people. On the other track, which you can use a lever to switch it to go on to the other track, is one person who will be killed. Can you or should you switch it and actively switch it from being 5 people who will be killed and switch it to being to one person being killed?
And then the continuation of this is So the first time that one person is a stranger, the second time, it's one of your loved ones. So like your mom or your dad. So for me, I think mostly like utilitarianism, which is when you try to do the least bad or like the most good. So in both situations, I would switch it so it would kill the one person. Because 5 lives are better than 1. So.
Well, yeah, I think the interesting thing about this, the dilemma, right, is if it was 1 and 1, you'd probably let it go, right? Because it's like, I don't want to intentionally think that, wow, this person is dead because I pulled the trigger, right? And then you keep adding people onto the track of, if you don't pull the lever and, you don't switch it to the one person, then all these people are going to die. There's a number where you're going to say, okay, it doesn't matter that I'm intentionally killing this one person. If there's 700 people on the other track, you're not going to neglect the lever. You're going to go for it, right? So I think that the problem is really just how much you value each of those people, because, like, after a point, there's going to be an easy answer.
Yeah. So I guess you're saying, like, you're weighing the value between actively deciding somebody's fate, but at what point is that principle of not wanting to switch it get overthrown by just the sheer amount of people
It makes sense what he said, because, like, it's debate because it's 5 and 1. Just like you said, when it becomes 501,
it's
we
easy.
wouldn't even
You're
have
not
to-
going to let 500 people die. No.
for like this one, except like your wife, your child.
The dilemma gets
My
interesting.
wife's child.
Not necessarily when you replace the one with a family member, like mom or dad, but when you replace the 5 with, like, say, 5 prisoners or, like, your mom. Like, what would you do then?
Oh yeah, that is.
Like if
5
it was,
criminals or your mom?
Yeah, in these cases, if it's anyone that I really
Probably
care about,
prisoners.
I'm probably saving that person.
Yeah, I agree with you. If it was even like if it's the second scenario where it's 5 people who would die, or wait, yeah, it's 5 people who it would hit, and like you can change it to 1 person, but that like it's a loved one. I would probably let it hit 5.
Yeah.
I feel like in the scenario where you know those 5 people
Yeah.
are prisoners, then I would save my mom. But I think the thing is, if I don't know anything about the 5 people, I'm gonna save them. But if I know like anything about them, then I'll probably pick out their flaws, because in the moment I'll be like, all right, my mom is obviously more important than these goobers with their.
Do you think you
stupid
have
ideas.
like 10 minutes to like think?
But you
about
wouldn't just
it?
assume that they're a person with flaws. Like you would have to hear what the flaws are.
Yeah,
I have
everyone's
to
got
hear.
it.
At the same time, prisoners like
Right.
just
Yeah.
be like money laundering.
And number 4,
Yeah.
this one's a bit more of a strange question. Favorite tree and why?
Redwood.
Redwood.
I'm gonna go with probably a pine tree.
Wrong.
Used to-
Redwood.
I used to have one in my front yard, and it was climate. And
I say
That's cool.
plum tree.
I have a funny story about that. I'll tell some other time.
I ate a maple leaf 2 days ago. in my
Cool. What?
Yeah, this girl had it, and then like I told her, let's flip a coin, and whoever loses has to eat it. And then I lost, and I ate a piece, and then she was a champion. She said, okay, you did it, I'll do it as well, and then we shared it.
It's pretty romantic.
Modern day romance right there.
Man, so that's our answer to favorite tree and why.
Hey, what about
Evan goes?
Red cedar.
Red season.
Versatility
You said
is-
red, and I
I
got
was
really
ready, but-
excited.
No, red cedar's so versatile. The bark can be used to weave baskets. The wood can be used to make canoes or
sap.
Fucking
houses.
tree.
The
The sap.
I don't even know more than 2 types of trees. Maybe
Yeah,
one,
'cause
like a palm tree. That's all I know.
Just said
Next one.
A poppy tree.
No, palm tree. I
The
think.
last bit of message from Amy is also you guys should try baking from scratch. No help with only a recipe. Something festive with the spooky season. Just a suggestion from your biggest fan, Amy. Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you so
Is
much
that
for
her
supporting the
actual
podcast.
Shout out to Amy.
No,
It's her
it's not
fake
this-
name that she told me.
She-
to
we
use.
don't-
never bought.
No,
No,
She made up
no.
the fake name.
She made
Next,
up a name.
that
We don't
feeds
know
in.
who it
We
is.
got one more fan thing. This is more of an advice type of thing, which I feel like, us lads, we can help out here.
I'm probably gonna give you the wrong advice. Don't do what I say.
Okay. Hey, gang. Bob here.
Again.
Is this a different person?
I've been
Yeah, I think
pondering
so.
what to send as a question for the podcast, and here's what I came up with. I've met so many cool people at UW, people who I have a short interaction with and think, wow, I really want to be friends with them. But I don't have any classes with them, and I only know them through mutual friends or classmates that I'm not very close with. How would you go about starting a friendship with someone you see around campus occasionally? After you answer that, consider how you'd react if somebody did that to you. For example, if you say I just go up to them and ask them to get lunch together, how would you feel if some random person asked you that? Huh? Like if some random person that you may have seen in passing once or twice is like, hey, like, you want to go?
The first couple months is a unique opportunity where everyone's looking for friends, right? Like, this is the only time in your life where it's not weird to do that.
Yeah. So you're a yes for that?
I absolutely would ask that person to lunch.
So if you're giving Bob here some advice, you're saying you see somebody that you want to be friends.
If you see something, say something.
I mean, if I was...
So that's what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like if I didn't know Sam and just Sam walked up to me, or like maybe Sam twice around campus, and then he's like, hey, you want to have lunch? I'll probably be like, flake out.
This is why I don't ask you to
I
lunch.
would do the same to you.
I'd probably like have an excuse like, oh no,
I'm busy. I can't.
Yeah.
I already have plans.
I have like...
Yeah. I would say
I
this.
don't eat lunch.
A point off of
Already
what
ate.
Ruben just said is A, people are looking to make friends, and B, the campus is so big that let's say you have a super awkward interaction with someone, you don't have to see them really. Like maybe in high school it's like, oh, you have an awkward interaction with someone you're going to see them every day or every other day or whatever, and it's like, oh man, now I'm reminded of the mistakes that I made.
Unless they like live in the room in front of you.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic. But
non-MacArthur, you won't understand.
West Campus boys, Redwood.
okay, so
Anyway,
pretty funny.
that's
If I'm
okay.
you, Bob, I'm
digress.
going up to somebody that you want to meet. Don't just go up to them randomly and act like you know them, but just be like, hey, like, you seem like a cool person. I'd like to get to know you. Want to get coffee or lunch sometime or whatever? You're saying no?
I don't think so. That's like really weird way to say it.
I've seen somebody do it and it works.
I feel like if you just say, "Hey, you look like a cool person. Do you want to get coffee?"
it's a little bit-
That's like
No.
an odd approach.
I've seen people like
Definitely if it's
have like
future.
one or two
Yeah.
interactions with a person and they're like, wow, that person seems really nice. And they go over,
Okay.
get their contact info and like say, hey, we should get lunch sometime.
Yeah, it obviously
I've
is
seen that
possible
happen.
if you both click, right?
Yeah.
But at the same
No, I
time,
think that's the
I
context
think
of the question.
you should not say I think you're cool. Just say something like
Just say.
I'm gonna go get coffee. If you wanna come, you have nothing better to do. You know, play it cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just me. Maybe someone else will just like directly approach
Yeah.
the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's very smart. You just don't want to be desperate, you know?
What do you think is the worst way to ask somebody if they want to get lunch with you?
cool.
Tell them like,
You wanna go
I sent these dudes on the podcast a message, asked them how should I be friends with you, and they told me how, and now I'm here, and you're so cool. Because Joey told me to say that.
Guys,
So,
I was speaking generally. I don't mean...
All right, well, I think we're ignoring the second part of the question, which is how would we feel if someone did that to us?
Yeah.
So that's actually happened to me already, like like twice actually. Wait, remember those guys at the fountain? We were walking back.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I feel like that might be a little different though because
was
they were in a
probably-
group. Like they had I think they had a reason to try to get people.
It was still really weird.
Like
though.
saying, "Hey, I like your backpack." Is
That was-
not
that
a
was
tip.
odd.
Like
So
they just wanted it in.
So me and Sam were walking back from like playing football at the IMA, and I was just walking on the grass, and there's two guys behind me. They're like, "Yo, I like your backpack, bro." I'm like, "What?" Like my backpack is just like, I don't have it here, but it's just gray, a couple pockets. So I'm like, "All right, what?" And we start talking to them, and they're like super nice, but like overly nice. I was so confused. But, I mean, nice guys nonetheless. And then they invited us to, like, go eat dinner at West Campus or something. We're like, yeah,
Sounds
We
like
didn't
an
know.
ice cream truck situation.
for sure. And then last week, I was eating lunch or something, and, like, it was low population at center table at that time. And some guy just kind of sat next to me, and we just started talking. I forget his name.
That's
but,
dope.
Yeah, it was weird. But, I mean, in some situations, it's all right, but, you know, got to read the situation, and,
Okay, I want to ask Joey. So if someone did the same way you just suggested, like someone, if Mr. Evan here, you don't know him, right? He came up to you and told you, "Oh, you're cool. You wanna go grab food?" Like, what's your honest?
Well, I'm
honest
highly
reaction?
socially awkward, so in this situation, I'm probably... Here's the thing. The difference... Listen, the difference is that I feel like you're taking it out of context. What Bob told us is that it's somebody who you have a few interesting
Yeah, I know,
interactions
I know.
with. You see them. If there's somebody from down the hall or whatever who I've seen a few times, maybe made a few nice comments, introduced ourselves, and then saw each other on the elevator, I wouldn't mind if they came up to me and approached me and said, hey, like, you seem like a cool person, you want to get some coffee or something. I would be for that. If it's some rando, obviously I'm probably not going to be. I'm going to be weirded out. But I'm saying if it's somebody who there's a base for it, then I could be
I think
about it.
since he said he knows them through a mutual friend, although he's not that close to that mutual friend. The best bet would be like next time you are able to be with that mutual friend, try to go to that person or like try to persuade the guy to like all hang out or girl to hang out together.
That's a good idea.
I don't know. I think we're kind of biased, right? Because we've already been here for a month longer than everyone else. They're still in like the rose-colored glasses phase. That's what I was saying. Normally, if you went up to someone and said like, "Hey, you know, you look like you've got a good digestion. Let's get some food sometime or something."
What?
Yeah, normally that does not
that's
pass.
cool. That's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
But
That's cool. That would work.
you know, like around here, nobody knows how good anybody else's digestion is. They need to make friends. That's what I'm saying.
It's a really
You
good
know,
way to
this
look at
is the
it.
one time in your life when you can go up to someone and just say, you know,
I feel like we're
let's
past
go
that
for
point.
it.
I feel like we're past that point.
For-
I think
for-
we
for-
definitely are.
we are
We've been
because
here
No,
for
no,
longer.
because like even look at your
Well, it's
floors.
been
Okay,
4 weeks.
look at your floors. You weren't
Yeah.
here during EFS.
Yeah.
Okay, so even our floor during EFS, right? The way we were at during EFS and the way we are now, it's so different.
Yeah.
EFS, literally everyone had their doors open.
Yeah.
Everyone was just talking. Right now, all the doors are just closed. No, everyone's just busy doing their studying.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's so different right now. So
I
I
don't
feel,
fuck with that either.
yeah, I like everyone's like doors to be open. We're like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
EFS was objectively better.
Is there any more questions?
No. The only other thing that Bob had to say is timestamps are better than clips. That was their PS. Just to address that, we did try something new on the last episode. We tried putting up, along with the regular podcast, clips. We're probably just going to stick with timestamps in the future, but we'll see.
Why don't we might do timestamps and clips.
Yeah, but I was talking. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, do we want to do a quick update on everyone's Chica situation?
yeah, sure. Anybody got anything?
You can start. Since it's your idea.
That's true. Yeah. So I had a date Sunday night. Went well. Went hammocking under the cloudy stars. It was mostly cloudy, but yeah, it was a good time. Kind of
That's
lost track of
great, man.
time. It was like 3.5 hours. You know, kind of clicked. So good stuff.
Yeah, we're all
She's probably watching the podcast most likely because
Probably
someone's
not.
gonna tell her that we talked about this.
Shout out to her.
So yeah, shout out.
So we're all rooting for Pat and Mystery Lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
So when the Chargers game was on.
Anybody else?
Anyone
got
else?
anything?
I mean, I don't know. I have a girlfriend.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
official.
Oh, it's been official for like 3 weeks.
Since
know that.
episode 2.
And in
Are
like
you serious?
as someone who's just coming out of
22nd
high
of
school,
November.
like 3 weeks feels like an eternity, which is insane. I'm very happy. I think we're
No
both
way.
happy. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Right, monogamy is the way to go.
Yeah. And I just want to say that a big moment in all this is when on episode 2 of the podcast, there's a timestamp for it if you want to check it out right now.
Just for
Ho no mo.
He
That
said
is
it
the quote.
on the podcast
Yeah.
and
On the
talked
quote.
about how there was a girl he was interested in.
Mhm.
Look
I
where we
showed
are
it
now.
to her. I showed it to her, and you know what? She was like, "Cool." I didn't need to see this, but I.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because I've been wondering.
Uh-huh.
Have I met her?
Maybe I don't know.
yes. Hello.
Hello. I knew it.
Oh,
I knew
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's,
Yeah,
she's really
sick-
cool. We
sick
met her.
lady.
She seems
Yeah.
really fun.
Anyone
right.
else? Quick updates. Anyone?
It seems like a good click. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
He likes
I
it.
like
He likes
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like
All right.
key and lock.
Nice.
Key and lock. Literally.
Not key and key. That's what
Wait.
you're saying.
What do you
That's
mean?
right.
Going for key and key?
All right.
I think that's all we got for
Yeah.
today.
So I think that we're gonna end it there. I want to thank all of the.
Evan, then give us an update. I mean,
I'm not going to disclose any information.
Yeah, that's Evan for you guys.
Yeah.
We'll, anyway, I want to thank everybody who watched. Drop a like, leave a comment, hit the sub button, leave some feedback, please. And I also wanted to, again, shout out our sponsor, Talking Rain, for hitting us up with the beverages. If anyone else wants to sponsor us, email us at thehuskyexperience@gmail.com. Also, if anybody has any questions or advice they want, email us at thehuskyexperience.
Or if you have my
gmail.com.
number, Snap or Instagram, just do that too.
But just, also, we've been appreciating the love that we've been getting on this podcast. You know, we're out here just having fun, but y'all keep the channel going. So thank you for that.
one last thing. I just came up with this on the spot. I think we should do it anyway. Thanks to Talking Rain, we are doing a giveaway. We will give away 3 cans of this. Leave the funniest comment down below, and then we will contact you. Leave your email and the funniest comment. We will contact you, and you will receive 3 of these cans. Courtesy
Wait,
of
one
Talking
person
Rain.
gets 3 of those, or 3
Yeah,
people?
This is
get
high
one?
quality sparkling water. Its ingredient is carbonated water. So this is 3 cans of this is actually incredibly
Oh,
valuable.
but Ruben, what? I mean, I feel I'm fat. What if I drink it? Like will I get fat?
Huh?
Will I get fat?
Well, in fact, you will gain a total of 0 milligrams. Milligrams, not even full grams.
There's no calories
of
or
fat.
anything. Point is, thank you to Talking Rain. Thank you to all of our fans, of course. And yeah, so keep showing love in the comments.
Funniest comment, attach it with your email. You might win a 3 supply can.
Delicious.
It's original.
Delicious Talking Rain.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.